picture stuff in the economy with the oil markets. We got interest rates dropping, some good things on the board. But then there's the chaos out in Minnesota, which has become just absolutely petulant and childish. And an exclamation point got put on that today with the release of a new video that clearly shows this woman hitting, not trying to hit. Also, the motivation was in her eyes. You can see her eyes as they were taunting these officers and this particular officer. We'll go back into some of the details of that in a minute. Right now, Trump is still throwing down with the media, and this is pure entertainment. It is Friday with rain coming down and flood potential tonight, all night long, Lionel Richie style. So we'll keep you updated on that. Some heavier stuff's just now moving into the metro. We're going to go back to Trump for a minute, as long as we can hang in there, because this was getting good, especially in light of Venezuela and all that's happened in the news so far this year. Here's a live news conference. Trump's surrounded by oil executives, and he's focused on energy, but they are asking him the questions. Here we go.
I'm never satisfied. I will never be satisfied until we make America great again, but we're getting pretty close, I'll tell you what. This is called a happy Trump. Somebody gave it to me. I put it on.
Thank you. And the policy question. How much money are you thinking of giving people in Greenland to get them on board with a possible U.S.
I'm not talking about money for Greenland yet. I might talk about that. But right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not. Because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. Okay? I would like to make a deal of, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way. And by the way, I'm a fan of Denmark too. I have to tell you, and they've been very nice to me. I'm a big fan, but the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land. I'm sure we had lots of boats go there also. But we need that because if you take a look outside of Greenland right now, there are Russian destroyers, there are Chinese destroyers and bigger, there are Russian submarines all over the place. We're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland, and that's what they're going to do if we don't. So we're going to be doing something with Greenland, either the nice way or the more difficult way. Please, go ahead, ma'am.
Mr. President, why is it so important to you to own it when you have a military presence there, which you could expand to affect the security?
Because when we own it, we defend it. You don't defend leases the same way. You have to own it. And, with a nation, look at what happened with Obama, with that horrible deal they made with Iran. It was a short-term deal. It was like a 9-year deal. Countries can't make 9-year deals or even 100-year deals. Countries have to have ownership. And you defend ownership, you don't defend leases. And we'll have to defend Greenland. If we don't do it, China or Russia will. It's not going to happen. We are not going to have, and I like China, I like Russia, I love the people of China, I love the people of Russia. I get along very well with President Putin, but I'm very disappointed in him. I get along very well with President Xi. I'm going to go over to China in April, but I don't want them as a neighbor in Greenland. Not going to happen. And by the way, and NATO's got to understand that. I'm all for NATO. I saved NATO. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have a NATO right now. But we're not going to allow Russia or China to occupy Greenland, and that's what's going to happen if we don't. Go ahead.
On the economic report that came out today, Mr. President, one, can you respond to that? And two,
it was an amazing report. The most amazing thing is government jobs are way down, and yet the unemployment or the employment numbers are very good. We've gotten rid of tremendous numbers of federal government jobs. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And yet the employment numbers are very good. They're really getting better. But now we have all those people to work in the private sector for a lot more money. I think that's one of the very big things. The other thing is at 5.4%. And remember, this is after we had a shutdown. And that shutdown had an impact because the concept of the shutdown, even though it's before, people knew we were going to be shutting down. A lot of bad things happened. And by the way, on January 30th, you may have another shutdown. We'll see what happens. But I think the numbers, Caitlin, were really amazing. Look, to think about 5.4%, nobody thought that. They thought it was going to be 2%. And you know what it is? It's tariffs. and it's also November 5th. We had a great election, a great election. Our country was dead 1.5 years ago, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And I hope you guys were impressed. 5.4%, and we haven't even really transitioned yet. There's no reason it can't be much, much higher than that. Yeah.
Can you respond to the manufacturing
Let's
number?
give CNN a chance. You know, they've been fighting
also,
so hard to get back into the mainstream.
Mr. President, you posted some numbers actually on Truth Social last night. People saying you posted the job data early when you're not supposed to obviously share it till the next morning. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I don't know. If they posted them, I said post them whenever you get a chance. I don't know. They gave me some numbers. When people give me things, I post them. But the numbers are amazing. Yeah, please.
Administration plan to distribute the money from the Venezuela oil sales? Is it, obviously you say it's going to go into these controlled accounts.
Yeah.
Would it go back to Venezuela in a direct payment? Is it going through these goods? How do you plan to do that?
Well, we want to make sure that Venezuela can survive. You know, Venezuela needs money, and we're going to make sure that they get money, and we're going to get money, and the oil companies are going to make something for the work they do, and they're going to get back their money. We're devising a formula, but it won't be so much of a formula. It's going to be what they need. We're going to take care of what they need. There'll be plenty left over. We're going to have a lot of money left over, and the money left over is going to the United States of America, and the oil companies are going to be very happy. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would the administration offer a backstop to these oil companies for like financial guarantees, some sort of backstop, if the country did destabilize again?
That's a very interesting question. Using the word backstop, I haven't heard that word in a long time. That was at the Wharton School of Finance I last heard. That's a good term. We ought to use it more often. I hope I don't have to give a backstop. I'm just, look, these are very smart people, the smartest people that are not only in oil and business. These are the biggest companies in the world sitting around this table. They know the risks. I mean, there are risks. We're going to help them out. We're going to make it real easy. They're going to be there for a long time. We're going to be there together for a long, long time. And they're going to be taking the oil, and they're going to be bringing oil prices down. They're going to make a lot of money. They're going to get their money back. They're going to be safe. The people of Venezuela are going to be big beneficiaries, and the United States of America is going to be a big beneficiary for what we've done. And you know, one other thing I might say, it's also very big for national security because, again, just like Greenland, we can't have China or Russia occupy Greenland. We can't have China or Russia occupy Venezuela. And if we didn't do what we did, China or Russia would have been in Venezuela. I think I can measure. Where's Mr. Chevron? So let me ask you, they would have been there if we didn't do this. Do you agree with that?
They certainly have a lot of economic interests in country. There's absolutely no argument about that.
They were trying to be there. I mean, you know, we had a Russia, I guess sort of I call it a semi-Russian ship yesterday that we took over, and Russia decided not to defend that ship against us. It's a big movement. The ship was loaded up with oil, and we took the oil, and it came out of that port. But Russia would be there or China would be there, and we want them to be there for a different reason. We want them. Do you people agree? In particular, China, they need a lot of oil. Russia doesn't need so much, but Russia was there anyway. But I assume you agree that China would like to be doing a lot of business there by buying oil. And I want to just tell President Xi and President Putin, but more so in this case, President Xi, because they do need a lot of oil. And we are open for business in the United States, and we are open for business in Venezuela, right? Go ahead, sure.
Mr. President,
you know,
what is your
I could take questions from these people all day long. You know, they're sitting here, and generally they're very rich, very powerful, but nobody gives a damn about them. It's a sad thing. You have all that money, all that power, and look at all these crazy questions. We could do this all day long, and they wouldn't be satisfied.
Mr. President, I have a question on today's meeting, Mr. President.
We'll take a few more, though.
I have a question on today's meeting, Mr. President.
Let me ask you more importantly, do you have any questions from the biggest?
Yes, sure.
Hold it. Do you have any questions for the biggest people on earth, the biggest business people, the biggest companies anywhere on earth? Do you have any questions for these people? No, do you have a question for them?
Yes, but
Go ahead, ask ask them.
The companies in the room that they are committed to rebuilding the oil infrastructure in Venezuela. And for the executives in the room, what do you need from the administration in order to invest?
That's a good question. Do you want to go and answer that question?
Yeah.
Exxon, small company.
I'll refer you back to the statements I made before. There are a number of legal and commercial frameworks that would have to be established to even understand what kind of returns that we'd get on the investments. So I think all the investments and the opportunity sets, I think everyone sitting around this table would have the opportunity and the know-how and the capability to make the investments. The questions will ultimately be how durable are the protections from a financial standpoint, what do the returns look like, what are the commercial arrangements, the legal frameworks, all those things have to be put in place in order to make a decision to understand what your return would be over the next several decades that these $1 billion investments would be made on.
You know, could I do this? Because we have, again, the biggest people on the planet Earth around this table, biggest companies in the world. I'd like to just ask them to introduce themselves. We'll start from this end and go around to here. And if you have anything to quickly say, we can do that. But you want to just start right over here? These two guys, we'll leave them out because they're with us. Please.
Thank you, President Trump. John Addison at Vitol. We're here to ensure that you are going to be able to move all of this oil all around the world at the best price possible so that the influence that you have over the Venezuelans will ensure that you get what you want.
Thank you. Thank you. Good point.
Thank you, Mr. President. Brian Sheffield of Formentera. My grandfather, Hugh Sheffield, was president of ARCO, Venezuela.
Right.
Thank you for what you did.
Do you like what we're doing?
There's a lot of shale there, a lot of upside.
He would be very happy looking down. He'd be very proud of you right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you.
Mr. President, Luis Rodriguez. I'm probably the only Venezuelan American sitting on around this table. I want to personally thank you for the courage of your actions over the last couple of weeks. I think I speak, and I speak of Venezuela in general in saying there's optimism. You've brought optimism to the table, and if the conditions are met, the opportunity is absolutely immense.
I agree with that. That's true. Thank you. Well said, too. It's immense. This is a tremendous opportunity. Thank you.
Richard Holton from Trafigura. We're working with your administration, Mr. President, to bring that Venezuelan oil to the United States. Our first vessel should load in the next week.
Great. Good job. Thank you.
I think the reason that most of us are here and thinking about the future is because we trust you initially to set this program up that will work and guarantee that this can be done. And there's a huge investment that needs to be done. We've all agreed on that. And certainly we need time to see that through. So thank you for what you've done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. President, I'm Lane Riggs, CEO of Valero Energy, and we're one of those companies that refineries in the U.S. are uniquely configured to run Venezuelan oil, and we're more than happy as this opportunity expands for us to further invest in our refineries to produce more of it.
And you're very much set up for the heavy oil, right?
Yes, sir.
That's great. That's great. We're ready for it.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you.
And thank you for opening the door to a better Venezuela. We are a Spanish company, but we are fully committed to invest here in the States. We have invested over the last 15 years $21 billion in the American oil and gas industry, in Pennsylvania, in the Gulf of America, in Texas, and in Alaska with the discovery of Pikka that is going to have the first oil this quarter and is going to change. It's going to reverse the declining history of that great state of Alaska. We are in Venezuela, Mr. President, with our partners of Eni. We produce the gas that guarantees the stability of a half of the grid power in Venezuela. So we are committed with this stability, and on top of that, we are on the ground. We have people, we have facilities, we have technical capabilities, and I take your point, Mr. President. We are ready to invest more in Venezuela. Today, we are producing 45,000 barrels a day gross of oil, and we are ready to multiply by 3 this figure in coming 2-3 years, investing hard in the country, following your recommendation, if you allow us, of course, and in the framework, commercial and legal framework that could allow this growth. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Great job you've done. Thank you.
Mr. President, thank you for having me. Matt Sheehy, I'm with Tallgrass Energy. We are an infrastructure business, so whether it's oil, gas, CO2, we move that around. So most of my customers are sitting around the table and happy to lend our expertise to what's going on in Venezuela to support the people. And obviously infrastructure is going to be critical to see it repaired. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, thank you. An honor to be here. Marianne Mannon, Marathon Petroleum. We are one of the largest U.S. refiners. On behalf of the men and women of Marathon Petroleum and of our industry, thank you and the administration for what you're doing for U.S. energy independence. We have the ability and the capability of our assets to process Venezuelan crude, and the people of Marathon Petroleum stand ready to do so.
While I was hoping for Billy Bob Thornton from Landman.
Oh,
You
yeah.
seen that show?
Yeah.
You people are just a bunch of morons sitting around here talking about nothing. I'm trying to hear, my wife's getting on my damn nerves, and I'm trying to drill oil. I was waiting on that, but it didn't happen. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. This is pretty raucous, and I'm going to tell you, it's not an overstatement. What they're talking about in the interest rate story today are two things that aren't as exciting as riots and morons, homicidal maniac lesbos running over cops. That's more titillating, but this is more important to your wallet, to your life, what's happening in your world right now, and we're going to keep covering it a little bit this evening on a rainy, stormy, floody Friday night. Back in a minute. All right, y'all, Birmingham Broker bringing you the show tonight as well. And as they have been for years and years, I've done probably, me and my family and others, probably 5-6 deals with them over the years. And I'm telling you, every time they blow my mind with the return. They get you maximum value. They handle all the work. There's just no way to you can go try to trade it in. You're not going to get more money. You can sell it yourself, and it's a huge pain in the ass. You might get more than them, but most likely you won't because they are connected. They have a buyer network, and they know how to market it and find you the best deal on that car and get it sold and take all that stuff off your back. It's Birmingham Broker. Y'all go see them downtown Birmingham. Craig and Keith, tell them we said hello. By the way, they need cars. They are looking for cars. They've got lots of buyers right now. I think some of this interest rate reduction is helping. New year, people are optimistic, wanting to trade cars. They may buy yours, and it may be worth maximum value right now. Get it down to Birmingham Broker and let them unload it for you. They will broker the deal and get it sold. Birmingham Broker, bhambroker.com. Trump's still going, and he's still listening to these execs. But let me grab Bert and get his call in here. We'll try to keep the show somewhat normal today while we boogie along. The button's got a booger in it or something that got stuck, AJ. Bert is on a cell phone. What's up, Bert?
Yeah, I was really impressed by the people sitting around that.
Why did we stop the show for that? AJ, you know that's that crank caller guy. You don't recognize his voice by now? I've hung up on him at least 30 times in the last
Well, man, there's sometimes I do recognize his voice, but
he's a dork.
But I've been listening to this, and so I was listening to what was going on.
If you hear somebody that just, well, I'm not going to say that. All right, let's go to Trump. I was going to say something really nasty. Let's go to Trump real quick. They're still talking about Earl.
We thank you again, and we are there, and we are also ready to join with American companies in our assets to develop and go faster with good investors and good know-how from the U.S. company.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You've done a great job. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, Ross Perot, good to see you again. I'm chairman of Hillwood and HKN Energy. Been in the energy business 45 years, and we have been working with your
is
team.
not real, AJ. That is not what Ross Perot sounds like. That's his son, I guess.
Donald, can I talk to you? No, listen here.
That's what. Everything's going wrong with this press conference. Let's keep going.
And look forward to continuing to build this great industry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. President, thank you for having us here today. Wael Salwan from Shell. Of course, we have a huge presence here in the U.S., in the Gulf, as well as in Pennsylvania with a petrochemical facility, which I think we had the opportunity to host you at, as well as being one of the largest LNG off-takers of American LNG. We have been in Venezuela for a very long time. We actually drilled in 1914 the first well that discovered oil in Venezuela, and on the back of which the entire energy industry was established in Venezuela. When we left in the 1970s because of nationalization, we had 1 million barrels per day of production. But we have kept boots on the ground in Venezuela all this time, and we now have a few $1 billion worth of opportunities to invest in, subject to OFAC approval. So we are ready to go and looking forward to the investments in support of the Venezuelan people.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ben Marshall, the America's CEO for Vitol. Alongside Trafigura, we're very thankful to have worked with the government and the Venezuelans to be able to bring the crude oil to market at a market price as quickly as we can to help stabilize the country. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Lance, ConocoPhillips. I'll defer to my colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. President. Olivier Lepoche, CEO of SLB, or formerly known as Schlumberger, the largest global oilfield services. We have been in Venezuela since 1930, and we still operate. We operate today on the ground with and in support of Chevron. We have ability to scale. We have 1,100 Venezuelans in the company, 2,000 additional that are calling us to go back to country and to go back to work. We're able to mobilize in the last 18 months 2 rigs and deliver 50 wells with success. So we're here. We have knowledge of the subsurface like nobody else has. We have boots on the ground, capacity on the ground, $700 million of equipment value on the ground in Venezuela, ready to mobilize for all of our partners, customers. So we are ready to scale fast, and we really want to thank the administration, Secretary Wright, Secretary Bergen, for the effort they are supporting and giving us to be successful on behalf of the Venezuelan oil and gas industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, check this out. They say the very best for last. And I don't have that sexy accent like this guy next to me here. Mr. President, my name's Bill Armstrong.
Well, that is, I'm just going to be real with y'all. That's an ass-kissing fest like I've never seen. But isn't it nice to have, we got these guys taking it to the president instead of this president starting wars for these guys, which is what we've had in the recent past. They want a piece of this thing. I just read a statistic. I think Trump said it today. that combined with Venezuela, the United States now with our production in Venezuela, we control 55% of the world's oil. That's called being back in business, and they all want a piece of it. So you can, they got the chapstick out today. Back here at the bottom, after the bottom of the hour break. Stay tuned. It's 3:35, Leland Live, talking 995, Alabama Dental Associates. Next up here on the show. We all need a dentist. Y'all know that. And some of you just, you know it. I got in this mode for a while, too. I kind of quit going. It was right around COVID. My dentist went out of business, and everything was closed down. And, boy, I paid for it because when I met Dr. Brian just hanging out at the lake, and he was a listener to the show and friend of John Lanius, and said, I want to be on your radio show. And I said, that's great because I need a dentist. I hadn't been in a minute. So it's a drive for me to go over to Alabama Dental. It's not as convenient as my other dentist in terms of distance, but these guys are open until 7 at night. They're open on the weekend. So about 5 years ago, I made them my dentist. And that first visit back after I'd not had a cleaning in a while, it took them a little extra elbow grease to get me all cleaned up. But the lesson there is don't neglect it. As all of us are trying to do better, aren't we all trying to do better at the first of the year? You got to at least try with your weight and your exercise and maybe your finances and all these things. Put your health on that list and do your checkups, do your screenings and your checkups, and in this case, your teeth cleanings, and make Alabama Dental your dentist. I think you'll love them like I do. It's a great practice. Again, Saturday hours for dentists, and that's important. That's how they're able to stretch their schedules out like they do. So you got the 4 dentists, and then, of course, you have 4 different specialties. These guys all have different areas of expertise, so they can pass you from one dentist to the other if you've got a unique problem. And an incredible investment in diagnostic and treatment technology, which is just cutting edge. You'll appreciate the practice. And the team, such an upbeat, vibrant team when you go in there. Some people just dread it. Man, you just dread it. They make it easy. They don't waste your time. You're in the front door. You're back there in the chair. You're done with this and checked it off for 6 months. AlabamaDental.com, AlabamaDental.com. All right, let's keep on trucking here. I'm going through all the headlines, and we've been bouncing around. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Trump, I think, has finally wrapped up the news conference with the oil execs, which is good because it started raining, AJ, and it killed our satellite dish. Let me take a look at that weather, and we'll get you updated on the forecast again because it's finally starting to move in. Again, some of our forecasters, so the heaviest is right over downtown, right here where we are around Homewood for the next hour or so. Then we get some little spotty breaks in it, but they're just waves of it through the night, overnight, and then into the early morning hours. It should start to be tapering off about 8, 9 o'clock, but some of you will still see rain until around noontime, just a dreary night. And be careful. I know there's still school events with school being back in. I know one of ours got a little fancy dress-up thing tonight. It's funny to watch the little kids get all dressed up and do these little formal events. And it's pouring rain on them, AJ. They can't do pictures like they wanted to. Mm-hmm. It's sad. It's so sad. It's funny, at this age, the girls go from looking like little girls, and then their moms get them all glammed up, and boys still look like they're wearing their dad's clothes. You ever notice that? You ever see the little 13, 14, 15? The boys haven't caught up yet. The girls are trying to dress they'll put days into this. I've watched this from a distance. Yeah. They're doing the nails, and they're getting all tanned, and they're just getting the hair right. Mom's all into it, and they fighting over the dress and get it all right. Boys are like, did you bring your belt? I mean, because I had 3 boys. Did you shower today? Yes. Yes, sure, Dad.
Do you have long pants?
Yeah. And they'll have these ill-fitting jackets and some tie they don't know how to tie. Somebody tied for them, which they'll take off the minute they get there. And you're lucky to get them through the picture part. And what I want to tell the young men is like, this is the rest of your life, son. Yes. It never really changes. Yes. There's this and other events, then your wedding, and then stuff. You just gotta go along with it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much. I'm getting into that phase right now.
And even as an adult, when you go to these fancy little galas or balls, if you ever get to go to one of these things, adult proms, this is what they are. The women still go all out. They'll spend all kinds of money and get super good looking and do all their stuff. And guys just get just that plain old penguin suit. What are we going to do? Comb our hair and put on the penguin suit. We all look the same.
Yeah, and you got to ask that question. And, she's talking about the colors and does this match the sparkles? Or, does this go? And then on top of that, we got to match what she wears.
Yes. Or the women are horrified if another woman has, like, her look or her dress. Yeah. It's mortifying. Yeah. Guys are like, cool. Everybody here just looks like me. You go stand next to a brother that's got the same tux on. Yeah. Like, hey, we dressed alike. Look at this.
Right.
He stole my look. Every now and then you get one of these peacock guys, these beta males that want to venture over into the woman's side of getting dressed up.
Oh man, is that a red suit? No, this
really?
is fuchsia berry. Like, bruh, that's just maroon. Like, well, stop that.
Ruffles, dude, you are not Mozart. You shouldn't wear. That's too much. Just put a tie on.
Right.
It's distracting. If you're trying to distract from your woman at an event like this, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be neutral.
Right. She's supposed to be the attention grabber or the icebreaker, because then people gonna come up and be like, oh my God, I love your dress. How come you didn't tell me your wife is so beautiful? Yeah. Oh my God, like you really went out of your way. Like,
who are you wearing? And it's like Macy's.
Last year, I don't know.
Penny, I don't know. I bought this thing like 10 years ago.
I got this off of Amazon. I'm just happy that it fit.
Yeah. I got the wrinkles out of it from the package. It was shipped this morning. And so these poor boys that are like 13 or 14 don't know that's the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Their mom like spitting on their hands and combing their hair, like, get in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Straighten up. Stand up straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to watch. It's the circle of life. Hakuna Matata. All American Metals bring you the show tonight, man. Days like today, I am thankful for my pole barn. I always start with my own experience with it. And that's the first steel project I'd ever built on my own. But I learned a lot, and I learned it the hard way because I didn't know about All American Metals, and I had to patch it together. I had fits and starts, and, I mean, it was just something else. But it got done, and days like today when I can tuck extra things in out of the rain, I got a lot of equipment I use around, and I'll try to just get everything dry. It's nice to be able to secure it and get it out of the rain like that. Such good use, too. Man, mine's been a party space, a meeting space. It's a big old garage. It's a workshop. I've got my home office in there and do the show from there. Sometimes it's really nice. Got my dude space. Listen, work with All American Metals, whether it's residential like mine. And mine's, I mean, it's a big barn for some uses, but it's not for others. It's 30. People always ask me what size. It's 36 by 48. I probably should have gone a little bit longer with the structure, but that's where All American comes in. They're going to advise you based on what you're going to do. They know what size space you need based on their own experience. And then they'll design it for you, spit out some stamp plans, have those available for you, because sometimes you're going to have to go get zoning approval in certain areas or parts of the state. Some of y'all live in good old free counties where you don't have any of that, but in some of the counties you do have to comply with the government regs. And then, of course, then you can get after it. Once they come with the package, after you get all that done, you give them the green light, you're ready to go, you've got your financing lined up, they will, if you need that, they will start producing the building. And since they control every element of the building. Now, by that, I don't mean plumbing and electrical and concrete. You got to get those things yourself. But the shell and the building and the structure itself, this is what they spit out, all the steel. So the primary framing, the secondary framing, all the clips that hold it together, all the components, the insulation, bolts, screws, all that's accounted for. And it shows up on their trucks, and they bring you the building. And what I did learn once I finally figured out how this works is these structures go up very quickly. I mean, they can just be up in just a few days once the concrete's cured. And then you're just quicker at getting everything dry and getting inside of there and doing your other work that you're going to do on it. All American Metals, man, these guys, two families, patriots, all been building, second generation, been walking on steel and putting up steel since the 60s. They know their stuff. And don't let me leave out the commercial side, which is really the bigger side of their business. A lot of our listeners are going to have a residential use, but if you're in business or want to grow your business or start your business and you need a big building or a building to do it, talk to All American. They can put those mini warehouses together, retail spaces, all kind of uses for the way they build steel in the steel buildings. You just can't beat steel. You can't do it. All American Metals, their core operations over kind of on that little line between Bessemer and Hueytown. AllAmericanMetals.com, AllAmericanMetals.com. Yeah, all right, it's all about 308. Here we go. Excuse me, 348. Y'all welcome back into the show. EcoView Windows and Doors next up here on the show. Man, those guys, the Jackson family, Becky and her team, I just love what they've done with this company and how they get it done for people. There's such a savings, and they can go into it in much more detail than I can. They do a lot of stuff. I tend to talk about the replacements. They do sunrooms and they'll do door packages. But on the residential windows, there's such an efficiency in saving money by getting updated windows in your house. Maybe you just had some damage. I got one that's cracked, and I'm going to talk to them about helping me get a replacement on that. And you just need them for a smaller project. But if you let them come out and show you what they can save you on your monthly and even really yearly utility bills, both in the hot and cold season, and how that works. There are industry standards for upgrading your home. Most of your air, in just a few days when it cools off again, you'll be able to tell the difference. You can walk by your windows. You feel that little draft by your doors. That's not just cold air coming in. That's heat going out. There's a transfer going on there. So all that heat that you pay for with your money, with your paycheck, is just going literally out the window. And you're not comfortable. You can't get warm enough at night or in the what's even more extreme is when we get severe weather or super cold weather, we'll be in the 20s next week. It's just harder to get your house comfortable. You're just constantly chilly. Windows just give you a whole new thermal barrier to secure your home, makes your system work less. It's less load on your heating system, and it just makes sense. The reverse is true, of course, in the summer. The reverse in terms of heat, cold. You're keeping that cool air in, keeping the moisture out. It's protecting your home from the extreme conditions, and again, saving stress on your heating and air system. It makes sense. And this is a top-notch company. I love what Becky and her team did. They wanted to just go out. They set out to create the best window and door business anywhere in Alabama. So they started with a business that needed some improvement, and they went in and just bought it out, changed up the product line. I don't mean to sound cruel, but they got rid of everybody and started with the best. They went out and hired the best installers, put the management systems in place, and that's everything you want in a company that's locally owned and woman-owned, and they want to take care of you. EcoViewWindows.com. Reach out to them if you got a construction project or a window project, or you just need to replace everything, and let them show you those savings. In a lot of ways, over time, these things pay for themselves. So see what they can do for you. EcoViewWindows.com. All right, let me take a quick look at the traffic. I'm kind of slowing things down here just a little bit because we've been 100 miles an hour since 2 o'clock. We've had some very heavy rain, especially last year in the few minutes, and I did hear a couple of things in the traffic report, but sometimes this stuff, especially on a Friday, can get crazy. It is pretty much locked down 65 north and south through downtown. Typical for this time of the day, but the rain's not helping. But the rest of the stretches of road, let me look south of town. Yeah, 280 is not too bad for this time of the day. 65 south of really Homewood's looking pretty good. So far, so good out there on the road. Y'all continue to be patient and careful. My experience has been when it's coming down really hard like this, people slow down because you can't see. The times when we really have some of the worst wrecks are when the roads are slick but the air's clear. People build up too much speed and there's just no friction, and that's when craziness happens. But it is Friday night, and that always adds to it. That again, let's go back to just some of the details of the forecast itself. This is a potential major flooding incident for our area, and it's going to depend on where you live. You're going to have flooding in some low spots in some areas, and just 20 miles over, they didn't get as much rain because it's so scattered and spotty, but it's coming in waves, and it's hard to really predict where you're going to get dumped on. Some of the computer models, I saw one this morning. It's not a prediction. It's just what the computers believe is the potential. There was one this morning that one of the forecasters, I believe it was over at Fox 6, put up, and it showed 8 inches of rain right around the Birmingham metro and a little bit north. And so we don't know if that's going to come to pass. But with it being an overnight storm, that's where you really got to take some precaution, because if you get a weather alert, I'm going to give my old man speech again, but we get amped up in the South over tornadoes, and I know I do personally. We get on alert. We do our precautions every time we get into storm season. But flooding is one of those things that just doesn't sound as scary, but it can take out more people. Some of the most depressing stories I ever covered, and when I went out and did that disaster coverage, were floods. I mean, it seeps in, it moves everything, it destroys stuff, leaves mold and mud and muck and death and just stench in its wake. And it happens so quickly. It can happen in just a matter of minutes. So the lesson there, of course, is to have a weather radio and have a way to get yourself awakened from your sleep. Those weather radios are designed to wake you up. They are loud and obnoxious, and you're not going to sleep through it. And there is no snooze button. That's by design. I remember one guy called up and said, "Man, I like this thing, but it doesn't have a snooze on it." I was like, "That's the point, dude.
The point is for you to wake you up.
It's to get your fat ass out of the bed and go. Go to high ground, or in this case.
Well, they need to change these weather radios to my wife's alarm system, because it goes
Does that
off
wake you up?
every 5 seconds.
Does she hit the button?
Like, it hits the snooze button, and
Yeah.
as soon as she hits the snooze button, she has 2 alarms. So once she turns off one, then the other one goes off.
Like
Then-
across the room, so it forces her to get up. Some people do that.
No, they're right next to each
okay.
other.
All right. Well, I have 2. Why not just hit the snooze button?
Thank
in case
you.
one doesn't go off.
Right,
I'm
right.
trying to support you, man. I feel your pain.
I'm over here trying to
Yeah.
sleep. I'm thinking, I'm over here counting sheep and stuff,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
all of a sudden the sheep starts talking to me. I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to hear this.
Oh, sleep. A good night's sleep. I read something the other day where, and you know how we always get this health advice, but 7 hours of sleep now is considered better for your longevity than diet and exercise. Now, it's hard for me to believe, but in some ways, I guess I can believe it, because it affects your brain affects everything else. You got to get, when I was growing up, it was 8 hours of sleep, but a good solid 7 hours without being interrupted. Yeah, that could help. That could change your outlook.
I mean, look, I think when I get, I notice a difference when I get like 3 hours of sleep. My body feels a certain way, but then when I get when I get a really, really good night's sleep,
Yep.
I feel a little bit more. I have a little bit more energy.
Oh yeah, Lord, yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know. My mood is a whole lot better. I'm not coming in cranky. You know, I'm not annoyed. I'm like, hey, I'm feeling good.
I don't set alarms anymore.
Well, you know, I haven't set an alarm. Only time I set up an alarm is if I had to get up here like early in the morning. It's the only time.
We do the afternoon shift, and generally, if you can't get your butt up and into work by 2 o'clock,
Right. You got a problem.
Because I have to get up and get engaged in the news anyway. So I just look. Everybody's different, but my routine is to leave the windows a little bit open so the sunlight wakes me up.
Yeah.
And that's natural. I don't like to get startled out of a deep sleep. I think it kills a little bit of your life. To get shocked awake, some people have to have that. I got one of my sons. He has to be slapped in the face since he was like 12 years old to get out of the bed. And he's the doctor, so he's the one with the irregular sleep, but he knows what works for him, and it is a cold, hard shock to the system. And get on up. The minute you hear it, get up. But me, man, I like to roll. I like to ease into it. I like to get up when the sun gets warm. Just kind of take my time.
My son is now getting to that age where he is getting out of the bedroom when he wakes up.
Straight to y'all.
Comes straight into the room. And it happened to me this morning. I'm over here asleep. I'm sawing trees. Like, I'm over here. I'm lumberjack over here in my sleep. Just right. And all of a sudden, I feel this little palm on my ankle tapping me, and I was like, it took me a second to like register what was going on, because I almost like,
yeah, you're in another world.
I'm in another world. I ain't gonna lie. At first I thought I was like, I thought it was like a ghost or something like that touching me.
Oh yeah, you're disoriented.
I'm a
I have
little
a kid.
disoriented.
What? I remember waking up. Mine was looking at me right now. He was 3 inches from my face. I opened my eyes. There's just these eyeballs. He goes, "I want some juice." I was like, "I'm gonna smack you."
Man,
you didn't die. You need to back up.
I almost
Scared
kicked
the-
I love my son. I would never in my life will ever harm my son. But in that split second before my brain registered, no, that's your kid.
Yep.
Like, I had to like realize like, oh, okay. Oh, because he's getting at an age where he just gets up.
He just up, and he's
just-
mobile. So
Yeah, because normally he'll just lay in his bed until we come in and, and get him and tell him to come on, or I'll talk to the camera, say, hey, come into the room, and, we change him and give him a bath and all that stuff. But now he's just like, all right, I'm up. So since I'm up, everybody and mom got to be up, and he'll wake up everybody in the room, and then he wants to go into his sister's room, and she's dead asleep. He's like, oh, let's go get baby sister now. It's like, no, let her sleep. So, yeah, I'm having to prepare for that now. And he loves to get up at the butt crack of dawn.
Yep. Well, I've traded little kids, because I've already lived through all that, for thug cats. These 2 male cats, straight thugs, right out of the streets. They don't care. And they know what they're doing. They're little devils. And the dogs, we're now kindling them. So they're peaceful until we let them out to go do the morning poop. But these cats will start knocking stuff over and making noise until we get out of the bed.
Oh,
They know it's time to eat, it's time to get up. And they will just rock the house until we get up. This morning, one of them found something metal and was just boxing it all over the place in the bedroom.
Like, they would take it, bring it to the bedroom, make a whole lot of noise, and then look at you
to make
like,
noise with it. Yeah.
Yo, what are you doing?
They used to jump into bed and try to, get us that way.
Yeah, that don't work.
One bit me, honestly, I almost evicted one because he bit my toe in the middle of the night one morning to wake me up or stab me. I was stabbed in my sleep and I wanted to kill this cat. And they both look identical. Unless you stare at them, you can't tell them apart. They're like little twin bastards. I'm not a fan right now. The other cats we've had have been gentle. These cats are they're going to go get snippety snip though.
Yeah.
Dr. Andy's about to give them an attitude adjustment. Thank you, Doc. It's happening. Y'all know Dr. Andy.
Oh, you're going to have some trans
about
cats.
To cut them loose.
Meow.
I'm just waiting on them to like, what do you want? You want to go outside? And I don't care.
Man, they're going to start wearing flannel.
I'm just laying here. Leave me alone.
They're gonna wear flannel.
They'll be out confronting ICE before you know it in the streets.